and have dropped so many stitches, so it looks a complete disaster. Do you believe that this can be saved, or you will have to think the rounds till you get to where you have all your stitches on the needles? I think we can try and save this instead of thinking the sweater, because this is a sweater I'm working on. By accident someone dropped a lot of my stitches, not just one or two, so I will try to repair this part of the sweater. In order to pick up my dropped stitches and place them on my needles, I am going to use a crochet hook. The crochet hook that I'm going to use will be smaller than my knitting needles. This will make my job easier. Also, you can use your knitting needle, but it's more complicated. So the first thing that we need to know is which is our last saved stitch. In this part of the sweater I was working on a 1 by 1 rib stitch, so my stitches are 1 purl stitch and 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch and 1 knit stitch, and we have to work differently in order to pick up the knit stitches and the purl stitches. Another thing you should know is that behind your stitches these horizontal strands of yarn are created. These strands of yarn show you how many rounds or rows, because it's the same, you have dropped. So for this purl stitch, 2 stitches. In order to pick up this stitch, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to pull up this stitch a little bit. This is my last stitch which is not dropped, and I know that because it comes out of another stitch like this. And what I'm going to do is, this is a purl stitch. What I'm going to do is to first I'm going to pass the horizontal strand over it like this. So now the horizontal strand is on top, and now I'm going to insert my hook, but I'm going to insert it this way, from the back towards the front like this. So my hook is pointing towards me, and now I'm going to grab this horizontal strand like this, and I'm going to pull it through the stitch, and in this way I've created a purl stitch, but still I have one more horizontal strand to go, so I will have to do the same thing. I will have to place it on top, and then again I'm going to insert my hook like this. I'm going to pull up the loop so it will be easier for me to pull through this strand through, and I'm going to pull up the loop. Now I'm going to place this stitch on my needle like this. So now I have saved one purl stitch, and now I move to this one, which is a knit stitch, as you can see. Again, the first thing I need to know is how many stitches I have dropped. So I have dropped 2 here as well. So now we are going to pick up a knit stitch, and for the knit stitches what we do, they are easier to work. So what we do is just we insert our hook like this into this last stitch, and then I'm going to grab the horizontal yarn. You grab the yarn which is nearer the last stitch, and I'm going to pull it through the stitch, and again I have one more horizontal yarn to work. Again I placed my hook into this stitch, and I will grab the horizontal strand and pull it up, and then I will place it on the needle, and I will continue in this way. Again, here the next stitch is a purl stitch. Be extra careful not to miss any of the horizontal strands. Here I need to create 1, 2, 3, 4 purl stitches, so the first thing I will do is to place the horizontal strand at the front, and I'm going to pull up a stitch. Let me do it again because I split the yarn. So I'm going to put the horizontal strand on at the front, then I'm going to place my hook like this and pull up a stitch like this, and then again I'm going to place the horizontal yarn at the front and pick up a stitch. Be careful which strand you use each time. You always should use the strand which is nearer the stitch that you are going to work. So here this one, and pull it up, and here one more, and place it on the needle. Now I'm pulling the yarn, so I have enough yarn for my next stitches. Now again, this is a knit stitch, and I'm going to insert my hook this way, pull up the loop, the second horizontal yarn. Always check which strand of yarn you should use, so this one and the last one like this. And here, this is my purl stitch. I should find the last one which is still in place, so this is the last one. Now I've reached at a stitch that it looks like knitted, but actually from this round I was working for the rib stitch, so the next stitch should be a purl stitch, and that's why I'm placing the strand of yarn on top like this, and I work purl stitches here. First one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth purl stitch. Again I'm pulling here. I don't like this stitch because, as you can see, my yarn was split, so I'm going to ting it and do it again, so it's nothing that cannot be saved if you try. So like this. Now again I need to create a purl stitch here, so and since I have a lot of stitches to work with, I should say that there are other ways in order to pick up drop stitches. For example, instead of using a crochet hook, you can use your needle, but it's a bit more difficult. I will show you how to do it with your needle. So actually you work about the same way. So this is my last knitted stitch. What I'll do is to insert my needle like this on the horizontal strand of yarn and pull it up. But when you use a needle, it's a bit difficult because with the crochet hook, this point of the hook helps you to grab the horizontal strands more easily. But anyway, if you don't have crochet hook, what you can do is insert your needle like this and pull up a loop, and again like this, and like this. Always pull the strands, and as you can see I have some more to go. Here I need to create, let me count the strands of yarn, 3, 4, 5. So this first one is going to be a knit stitch like this, and because as I said I was working on rib stitch. Also there is another way to pick up purl stitches. If you don't like the way you pick the purl stitches, what you can do is to turn, and after you turn you can work your stitches as knit stitches. So I'm going to insert my hook the way I would do if I worked a knit stitch, and work knit stitches. Always check which strand of yarn you are working with. And now if I turn on this side there are purl stitches, as you can see. And now I have a knit stitch which I need to work. So first find the first horizontal strand, this one, then the next one, 2, 3, 4 and 5 stitches for this one, so like this. Now I need to create purl stitches, except the first one, which as I said is from a round of stockinette stitch. So this is the way we pick up dropped stitches. So here you can see that after I have picked up the stitches, the dropped stitches, you cannot really see a difference between the ones that I didn't drop and the ones that I had to pick up. So in this way you can repair your mini accidents while knitting. I hope you liked my tutorial. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love to read your comments on what to show you next. Until then, bye. Thanks for watching.